welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator for the PC. I got it worked out with the people at Fort Knox, and they're going to allow me to take back off from the airfield. They want me to fly due north out of here, though, and don't deviate from due north until, and not deviate from due north until I reach the river. So, yeah, it was an interesting experience, but we worked it out. So we're free to go now. Now, we still have to make a stop in Evansville. In fact, that's all that this video is going to be, is we're going to follow the river to Evansville. Oops. There we go. Because my 172, my Cessna 172 is in Evansville. So we have to stop there and pick it up. I can't very well fly with it from an airport where it is not located. So we'll fly north until we reach the Ohio River. Here we go. Sit up in the seat a little bit. We can use the compass that sort of hangs down from the underside of the roof of the plane to judge whether or not we're moving in the right direction. We can also use the VFR map to accomplish the same thing. But yeah, it's due north, out. And don't fly over the fort. Just fly due north out of here. That's the instruction I received. They don't even want me deviating to that little bend in the river there that we can see. Actually, you can tell from the VFR map that we're not quite headed due north. We're headed slightly east of north. That VFR map is adjusted. Some people may or may not appreciate this, but that VFR map, I noticed it as I was flying over the northern edge of downtown Cincinnati in my last flight. The VFR map is actually adjusted to account for something called magnetic declination when it displays a plane that's appearing to head straight north.
Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
Godman Tower, Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha, frequency change. Louisville approach, Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha is type Cessna 152 4 miles north of Godman. Request flight following. Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha, Louisville approach. Squawk 0256. Squawk 0256, Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha. Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha, radar contact 5 miles north of Godman, 1,500 feet. Altimeter 30.14. Copy, Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha.
But yes, the VFR map shows due north, what am I trying to say? It accounts for a phenomenon known as magnetic declination. It's something that is geological as much as it is related to aviation. It's something that I don't often hear talked about very much by pilots, aviators, flight simmers, and things. Maybe because it's only it is part of our discipline, but it's also geological. You hear geologists talk about it a fair amount, and it's basically the difference between true north and magnetic north, and it's something that changes all the time. And the VFR map, like I said, something I noticed about the VFR map as I was flying across the northern edge of downtown Cincinnati is that the VFR map accounts for it. I mean, just to give you the numbers, the magnetic declination for the city of Cincinnati is about 6 degrees east right at the moment, the year 2020. And that was why I flew heading 276 instead of 270 as I was flying west across the northern edge of downtown. And at the time I was flying heading 276, the VFR map displayed an airplane appearing to head due west. Not slightly north of west, but pretty much dead on due west. So the VFR map accounts for that. Just something I noticed, something I thought was interesting when I saw it, and still think is interesting. There's Cedar Farm there, off to the right. Wave goodbye to them. There we go, the ATC panel down into the corner there. Actually, I take it back. Set it right here, because that thing that occurred at the end of the video, the last video that I made, the video into Fort Knox, into Godman Army Airfield, I noticed that I got that glitch there at the end, where the ATC panel occupied the entire screen. And I'm getting tired of that glitch, I have to say. And this is just a guess on my part, but I'm thinking it may have been because I had the minimized ATC panel all the way to one of the corners. If I leave it some space there, sort of towards the lower left-hand corner, but not all the way there, maybe set it right there or so. I'm hoping it won't do that again. So the driving distance from Fort Knox to Evansville is about 120 statute miles, ground miles. Using Google Earth, Google Maps, I found that the same distance along the Ohio River is about 175 miles. Now, I am okay with this if y'all are okay with it. I love the Ohio River. I love what it looks like. I love the fact that it exists. Talking of geology, the Ohio River is actually a very important river, geologically speaking, because it was the final resting place of a glacier that basically flattened the entire northeastern quadrant of North America millions of years ago. And it's why that part of North America is topographically so different from, say, the southern United States. Now let me make sure we're at full throttle and are at 0 degrees of flaps. Okay. So as you can see, it's about 9:20 or so in the morning. There on the dash. The gauge right below my tail number there, the November 82 Juliet Alpha. along at about 116 knots. About 130 miles an hour. So we're looking at, via the Ohio River, I'd say we're looking at maybe hour 15, hour and 20 to Evansville. Getting a phone call, but that'll have to wait. I don't recognize the number. But yes, there's no, that I could find, there's no fixed base operator at Godman AAF. So the story that I'm sticking with is that we had to find a fixed base operator in the area and then had to have them deliver the fuel to us. Now I'm surprised that there's no fixed base operator in Fort Knox, because I don't know, it just seems like you'd think that there would be. In fact, I chose Fort Knox over Cedar Farm because I thought there would be bound to be an FBO at Fort Knox. I couldn't find one online. And my reaction in my last video to the prospect of flying into Fort Knox, once I learned that it was Fort Knox, it was a reaction that I had at the time, but it was maybe a bit much. The reason I say that is because although it is restricted airspace, the sense that I got is that you can get permission to fly into the place. You're not automatically going to get permission to fly into the place, but it is possible to get permission to fly into the place as a civilian. I don't know how often that happens. It may not happen very often at all. I don't know the extent to which the airfield caters to general aviation pilots under emergency situations. I don't know. But I had a look at the St. Louis sectional chart, which is the sectional chart that contains Godman AAF. And I had a look at it, and it's your standard class Delta. I didn't notice anything on there. I'm only somewhat proficient at reading those charts. I'm still learning how to read those charts, but I didn't see much that really distinguished Godman Army Airfield from any old Class D. Class Delta. In fact, because the pilot's voice didn't really talk to anyone there at the beginning of the video here, you almost get the sense that it's not even towered. That just seems very, very odd to me. Because I think of an Air Force base, something like an Air Force base, for example, and, you know, these long runways, huge facility, long runways. The Air Force base that comes to my mind first when I think of Air Force bases is Wright-Patterson in Dayton. You know, huge facility, long runways. I don't know. There's a lot I don't know about this world, that's for sure. I just try to go out here and live and let live and enjoy life as much as I can.
Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha, contact Indianapolis Center on 128.3. 128.3 Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha. Indianapolis Center, Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha, 400 feet. Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha, Indianapolis Center, continue as planned. Altimeter 30.14.
Look at that switchback there. I'm gonna follow the river just because I love it so much. The truth is, I love the fact that it does what it does. Is it inconvenient when you're stubbornly trying to follow the river with only 10% fuel remaining? Yes, it is stubborn and annoying when that happens, but that's a rare case. I don't...
Generic 1 November Charlie, contact Indianapolis Center on 124.625.
Here, we'll read that.
Going to 124.625, generic 1 November Charlie.
When it is...
Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha, contact Evansville approach on 124.02.
Got it.
124.02 Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha. Evansville approach, Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha, 500 feet. Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha, Evansville approach, continue as planned. Altimeter 30.14.
I love the fact that the Ohio does this. A lot of times with really wide rivers like this, you won't see them twist and turn as much as skinnier rivers do. But it is really from the air, it's a nice looking river. It's just a shame what's happened to it. I think I talked a little bit about this in my first attempt to get to Evansville video, my last video. It's not the healthiest river in the United States right now, that's for sure. And it's really sad and unfortunate what we've allowed to happen to it. Sun is high enough in the sky that we don't get it right in our faces here as we turn back east. Okay, looks like we've crossed into Central Time. So it is 8:33 in the morning local time. Yeah, the sun's high enough in the sky. Yes. So we're in Central Time now. 8:34. See some rendering mistakes off to the left there. At least I have to believe they are. The water sort of climbing up onto the hillside there. I can't believe that that's what that actually does. Maybe some more rendering mistakes off to the right side of the screen at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock there. That looks like a snow-covered field over there to me. And snow-covered hills. Today is Wednesday the 9th of September. Airfield that we spied off in the distance in the video from a couple days ago, right before we turned away from it, turned south in a panic One of the last airfields we spotted off in the distance to the west was this one, Eagle's Nest. So we're back where we were. We're back to the spot where we panicked and deviated south toward an airfield that turned out to be the airfield at Fort Knox. You learn something new every day. You learn something new about your own backyard every day. Especially when your own backyard is this big. And this busy and populated. Cincinnati is, what was it, an 8-hour drive from 60% of North America's population. I think it's either Cincinnati or Dayton is a day's drive from 60% of the North American population. I think is what I saw one time, not too long ago. So we're a fair distance from Louisville at this point. We're on the radio with Evansville approach, so whatever air traffic control chatter we hear is going to be related to Evansville Regional. Echo Victor Victor. Not Louisville. So that may be why we're not hearing as much of it. Evansville, it's busier than a Class Delta, but it's not a Class Bravo. It is either a Charlie or a Delta. Although it is busier than your average Delta field. So if I were guessing, I would guess that Evansville is a Charlie. Although closer to being a Delta than being a Bravo, would be my guess. not a lot of air traffic out today. Beautiful day out. Great day for flying. Passing me at 9 o'clock on the VFR map. He's probably headed to flight levels. Certainly moving faster than I am. Have a good one. Nest in Perry County. They're back. Alright, let's see if we can see Evansville on the list. Just out of curiosity. Owensboro. And there is one mid-sized town along the way to Evansville. Evansville will be on the north side of the river, and then there's Owensboro, Kentucky, that we will pass by on the south side of the river along the way. So we're still closer to Louisville than we are to Evansville. Wow. We were never going to make it to Evansville. That was a miscalculation on my part, not a miscalculation that I'm proud of. I take ability to not do what I did yesterday, personally. And when I make mistakes like that, I stew over them for days. That was certainly a mistake. I should never have expected to make it to Evansville in this plane. Certainly a mistake. So you see Standiford Field about to fall off there. Louisville. Or Muhammad Ali International, I guess, as it's known now. great day for flying. Great day. Morning of Wednesday, September the 9th, 2020. And it is 10 minutes to 9 in the morning, Central Time, Central Daylight Time, local time here, along the Ohio River in between Indiana and Kentucky. In between Louisville and Evansville. Not quite yet to Owensboro, although we are creeping up on it. We'll be right up on it before it knows it. Here in the Cessna 152 Textron Aviation. on the right, Kentucky on the left. You can almost see the difference. I was speaking of a topographical difference between the two states because of a geological event that occurred millions of years ago, and over the course of a lot of years, millions of years ago. And you can see it just here in this image that we have here, just here as we're flying along. You can see it. You can see the difference. So don't take my word for it. There's I-71 down there, following along on the Kentucky side. Look at these trees here, over here on the Kentucky side of the river. Also get a sense for just how wide the river is. Get a great sense for how big, just how much water is here. I see a couple things of interest up here. I see an airspace, a possible airspace change, at least at some altitude. Maybe not as low as we are, but there's something going on up here. That's one of the things I see. The other thing I see is a bridge. I see a road crossing the river. We'll get ready to talk, just in case. What I'll do is I'll adhere close to the Kentucky edge of the river so that maybe whatever that airspace change is, if that is indeed what it is, doesn't affect us. We've been in enough trouble last couple days. We've had enough of that. So we'll stay close to the Kentucky side over here. Maybe stay out of that. Well, looks like we're going to cross into something up here no matter what we do. right up here at the bridge. Can't say I know for sure. Maybe Owensboro. I really would be guessing. An interesting formation over there to the left. I bet that's really there. I bet that's not a rendering mistake. I bet that's really there. Oh, no, I take it back. I take it back. It's water. I didn't realize that was water. No, that's not there. I thought that was just a sort of a chalky shoreline. No, that's water. That's not there. That's a mistake. Here to the south side of it like this, and it almost looks like a lake, not a river. It's so wide that you'd be forgiven for thinking that you were just tooling around a lake. We've been lucky to make it this far. I'm not going to push my luck. Although that does look like a bridge we could fly under if we were so inclined. I'm not going to do it. Oh yes, we could have flown under that. I may stop doing that for a while, especially in videos, because with as glitchy and buggy as it appears the simulator still is, according to a lot of people, you never know which of those bridges will be rendered as a solid all the way up and down it. A solid structure all the way up and down from the surface to the bridge. The way that some bigger city bridges clearly are. So you can tell just by looking at them. You never know. I mean, they appear to have gotten most of those ordinary looking bridges right, but like I said, you never know. No one ever expects it to happen until it does. And with a lot of the bugs and glitches that are still being reported, I'm just not going to chance it just yet. And to be fair, it's only been a couple weeks. There are gonna be glitches and bugs and things. I'm just thrilled to have access this early. We were all, I think, expecting Christmas of this year at the earliest, especially with the slowdown of everything because of the virus. I think we were expecting Christmas 2020 at the earliest. I for one was shocked to hear August 18th. So I'm just over the moon to even have access right now, so marked as a pond on the VFR map. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, below 700 feet AGL, we should be fine. That's one syllable in English. How many letters is that? That's 7 letters. That's somebody's name. This. Have a look for Evansville. There's Owensboro at number 7. Keep going here. Okay, there's Newburgh at number 13. Or number 12, I guess is what it would be. Newburgh is, it basically goes Owensboro, Newburgh, Evansville. Evansville shouldn't be too far behind here. There it is. At number 8 on the 3rd list. And moving on up. That's where my Cessna 172 Skylane is. Wondering where we are. I'm coming to get you. Just keep your wings on. talk a little bit about my landing intentions at Evansville, just so that we are crystal clear on what my plan is. There's a runway 4 at Evansville, and there is a point along the Ohio River, which runs to Evansville's south, the town of Evansville's south. There's a point along the Ohio River where it kind of makes sense to fly heading 310. Yeah, basically, the way that the river meanders, you're flying heading 310. And the point at which the river turns away from north and towards west, as you're flying 310, is right around the point that lines up with a turn onto the base leg for runway 4. So the way I think I'm going to approach that is I'm not even going to enter the pattern at Evansville. I'm just going to let the river guide me on final. It's not really final approach, but it's what you would call final approach if you were making right traffic. Now I'm just going to turn base and fly straight in to runway 4. Now Evansville is towered, so we'll have to see how that compares with what Evansville wants me to do. But I would be very, very disappointed if they don't let me just fly straight into runway 4 and use the Ohio River as a guide. The river approach. Into DCA along the Potomac. Correct me if this is wrong in the comments. Tell me if this is wrong, but is the Potomac River approach from the Georgetown University side, the west side, that's right traffic, isn't it? The river approach, the river, what do they call it? The river visual? That's right traffic from the side that it's usually made, isn't it? Put it in the comments. I'm just trying to visualize it. I'm only so-so at visualizing things, but things like that. But I think that's right traffic, which is the exception. Put it in the comments. I could be talking out my neck. I'm just trying to remember what I can remember. I'll do the river approach, the river visual for you guys in a, I don't know, a decent sized plane, maybe a King Air or something, if you want. It's not, it's a visual approach that I believe anyway is probably easier in a smaller, slower plane than it would be in a lot of commercial jets. But I can certainly take a run at the river visual into Reagan in DC if you guys want me to. That's a fun one. Fly over top of us there in the VFR map. He clipped our tail there. Now he's headed off to the flight levels. He's moving fast. this island here. What is this? Okay, I think we've got Owensboro up here on the south side of the river. Yes, most certainly. This is most certainly Owensboro, Kentucky. On the left up here. The childhood hometown of the Waltrip brothers of NASCAR Nextel Cup racing. Michael and Daryl. Disgusting above this island here. Turn a bit towards the town of Owensboro. Have a look. Okay. I thought maybe it was a towered Class D, Class Delta. Here, yeah.
Owensboro Tower, Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha is type Cessna 152 4 miles northeast of Owensboro. Requesting transition. Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha transition approved. Report clear of Owensboro Tower airspace. Maintain on navigation. Will report clear Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha.
That was a close one. I don't like to cut it that close. And there may have been other Class Deltas, towered Class Deltas along the way that I forgot to ask for clearance through, but I don't think there have been. I think that's the first one. I mean, Owensboro is really the first decent-sized town past Fort Knox. Then it's Newburgh, then it's Evansville. And I think that's it. I'm trying to think of anything between Fort Knox and Owensboro, and there's really not much. Well, we're clear, I think. Well, that's something there. Let's see. Okay, we're not quite clear just yet. Over top of land, you get some turbulence that you don't get over the water. It's the second or third time I've noticed that just on this flight. It's not an amount of turbulence that would cause a major problem, but it is a bit. It's noticeable. We were nearly within 4 miles of Owensboro there without clearance. That would have been a small problem in real life, probably. There's something called the Towered Class Delta rule in the United States. course, Newburgh. It may also be... No, let's see. We have to report clear of Owensboro first. Okay, I don't think it is. It's not... Newburgh is not going to impose the restriction on us that Owensboro did. I don't think. It's not as big. We're nearly there. We're nearly clear of Class Delta. And we're within 4 miles of Newburgh. So, yeah, I've got... Alright, we'll report clear and then see what Newburgh...
Owensboro Tower Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha is clear of the Owensboro Tower airspace. Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha, contact Evansville approach on 124.02.
Alright.
Going to 124.02 Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha. Evansville approach Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha 500 feet. Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha Evansville approach, continue as planned. Altimeter tree 0.1 tree.
Okay, so Newburgh has the common traffic advisory frequency, but no tower. We're not going to tune the CTAF, which is, I think, how it's pronounced. Correct that in the comments if it's wrong, but it's the common traffic advisory frequency. Newburgh has that. It does not have, it appears not to have, it doesn't appear to have a tower. So I think we are in the clear when it comes to them. There's Evansville. We can get the weather. Let's do it.
Evansville Airport information, India 14000. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 600 feet, few clouds at 4,400 feet, few clouds at 12,500 feet. Temperature 2 tree. 2.10. Altimeter tree 0.1 tree. ILS runway 4 in use. Landing and departing runway 4. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back all short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact, you have India. Evansville Airport information, India 14000. Wind 09er tree at 4. Visibility, tree. Sky condition, few clouds at 600 feet, few clouds at 4,400 feet, few clouds at 12,000.
Yeah, that'll be all. Thank you. See Vale there? Hold on. Alright, it's not letting me have the kind of control over the VFR map that I want. Alright. Well. greatest news. We'll bear toward the Kentucky side of the river so that we don't enter Evansville's airspace until we mean to. I assume this is Evansville. There on the VFR map, do you see the bend in the river that takes it to its northernmost point that is visible? That is the bend in the river which crosses a heading of 310 degrees. And moving away from north and toward west, and then toward south, as you can see there. As I am negotiating that bend, I am going to be at some point flying a heading of 310 degrees. Once I do that, I'm going to maintain that heading, and then as soon as it is appropriate to do so, I'm going to then turn base to runway 4. It's going to look like right traffic, but hopefully no one knows. Yeah, I think the reason we do left traffic, mostly, the reason why left traffic is the rule is because the pilot sits on the left side of the plane. That's what I've always understood. You want the pilot to have the best possible view of what's coming around the bend, so you have them make left traffic. But it's not a busy day out here today. People are at work. And we're gonna go fly. As soon as we turn north, or begin to turn north here, or not too long after we cross this bridge, I'm going to contact Evansville. The airport, Evansville Regional, and ask for a landing clearance. Have to sit down in the seat a little bit in order to see the compass. is a compass here, right in the middle of the screen, or near the middle of the screen, that I can use. But that's not. I get confused looking at that compass. That's a compass that takes practice to learn to read properly. Actually, not when you're flying straight. I mean, when you're flying straight, it's straightforward. But while you're turning, that compass can get a little bit hard to read, at least in my opinion. All right, column.
Evansville Tower, Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha is 9 miles south with India to land. Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha, Evansville Tower. Fly straight in runway 4. Altimeter
Legit.
30.13 wind calm.
Perfect. Perfect.
Make straight in runway 4 Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. So here before too long, we should see the Evansville marker pop up. The fake marker that shows up when you're within about 5 or 6 nautical miles of a place. These are just navigational aids that Flight Simulator has improvised to help simulation pilots. These are not, that I know of anyway, these are not beacons or markers that exist in real life.
Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha cleared to land runway 4. Wind calm.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to sit down in the seat a little bit.
Cleared to land runway 4 Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha.
Okay. So we're going to fly heading 310. Go. And that was quick. Return to runway 4 now. Maybe not quite that sharply. There it is. Yeah, I was a little bit late on the turn. The right traffic looks a little bit funny as well, but see, now we got to fly 060 to get back. Okay, see, now we're over land again, so it's the turbulence. It's the turbulence. I didn't realize that as an advantage to flying over rivers, but I suppose it is one. I mean, I don't scientifically know that you get less turbulence when flying over rivers. It's just something that I've observed. All right, 10 degrees. Flaps. 80% throttle. We don't get a glide slope indicator off to the sides here. We get a couple of flashing white lights whose purpose I do not know. Alright, we're coming for you, 172. We're coming for you. Got caught up in Fort Knox. And and that was a whole mess. But we got this. We're coming for you. Looks like they've shortened the runway. Alright. The way I think I'm going to deal with this is I am going to humor them. We're right down the middle where we were. So there is a glide slope helper here. Alright, full flaps, no throttle. Not on the numbers, but that's okay. Don't bounce it. Bounced it a little. Bounced it a little. That's okay.
Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha, exit runway when able.
Yes. I thought I saw a taxiway to the left. I hear you. I hear you.
Evansville Airport information, India 14000 Zulu.
Oops. Yeah, it'll take me a second here. I bounced it a bit, and I wasn't expecting to. I thought I was slow enough. Yeah, I thought I was... I really did think I was slow
Cessna
enough.
2 Juliet Alpha, exit runway when able.
Doing it now.
Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha, contact ground on 121.9er. 121.9er for Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha. Ground Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha taxi to parking. Cessna November 82 Juliet Alpha taxi to General Aviation parking using taxiway Echo Foxtrot. Taxiing to General Aviation parking via taxiway Echo Foxtrot Cessna 2 Juliet Alpha.
Sure, that's what we're doing. No, we're good. We're good. I see another plane that kind of looks like me. I mean, he's a... I don't know if he's a 172 or a 152 or exactly what he is. But we'll just hang out here with him. No, I'm good. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Okay, so we did it. We made it to Evansville. And at this point, we'll hop in the 172 Skylane and head off to wherever we're going next, which is a destination known only to me until the next video. So thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these flights. I'm in the process of maybe switching a bit over to live streams instead of videos. So if you'd like that, leave me a comment to that effect as well. I really am considering going to live streams, especially with these longer videos. They seem more appropriate for live streams than for pre-recorded videos. So again, thanks a lot for watching. We're here in Evansville, made it down safely, and we'll be off in the Cessna 172 next time. Have a good day, everybody. Bye now.